the obvious wasting of time and slow pacing, this episode all around got a lot better in the second half of all these different characters that's getting introduced in this arc of Dressrosa. Now, I want to talk about the first half first before I get into the actual awesome sauce of this actual episode. For one thing, the entire first half was just very slow. I mean, it was so fucking slow. I mean, Frankie just staring at the toy soldier for like 10 seconds and then asking questions. I mean, there was just so many useless, like, filler scenes that just kept wasting 10 to 30 seconds each time. Like, one specific scene that I noticed just wasted time that wasn't even there to do nothing at all was Sanji's scene. Okay, last episode I said I love Sanji. I love his episodes that focus around him. I usually do. I love Sanji's scenes. But that was just a waste of time. There was nothing important whatsoever. Not even comedic relief in that part of this episode. The entire section with Sanji was just completely useless. It was not important at all to this episode. So, let's just disregard that. That wasted about probably 3 minutes of time that didn't need to be wasted, since we already got 5 minutes taken up by the actual opening and actual previously, which is fine with me, but still, that takes up 5 minutes right there. So when you add these 3 wasted minutes right there, you got about 8 minutes. Half the entire episode's already been wasted. And then, let's not even get me into the effect of just the entire Frankie staring at the toy soldier scene for like 10 to 15 seconds and then like slow repeated questions and stuff. That was a lot of wasted moment, and I'll just say the time was definitely wasted in this episode. But then it started to pick up in the second half of the episode. And let me see all these awesome characters introduced. Now, I want to let y'all know, all you only anime viewers out there that pretty much don't read the manga, I'm not going to spoil nothing, but I will say this. I was the exact same way you're probably feeling right now when you saw all these characters introduced. I was like, oh my god, why should I care about all these characters? There's so many names, I can't remember them all. That's exactly what I was thinking when I first saw all these characters introduced. So don't worry. I promise you right now, you will learn their names eventually because you'll see some epic stuff in the future. But I will tell you this. I am expecting great things from this arc. Even though we have slow pacing, I know for a fact at the very least we're going to have some awesome freaking action. And the animation of this episode wasn't as good as certain scenes in the last episode, like, you know, Violet's entire animation style we saw last episode. But I felt like the actual animation wasn't that bad for a One Piece episode, so I'll say it was fine. Now, one scene that just really wasted time in the second half, and it's probably one of the only scenes that really wasted time, was the section where you get to see everybody getting face pan towards all the actual gladiators being introduced, with the epic music playing in the background, like the tension music building music, with Luffy just after he creamed a guy on the ground and flipped him over and all that. You'd think a guy that's like 2 times Luffy's size or 10 times Luffy's size most likely would not underestimate anyone that's made it to the New World already. I'm gonna say this right here, right now. We're in the fucking New World. Anyone that is in the New World should not underestimate another guy, even if they're fucking old. I mean, seriously, think about this, everybody. I mean, we've been told in pretty much horror stories about the New World since they first got in there that anyone that has made it this part of the actual Grand Line should be not someone you want to mess with. And we get to see the beginner mistake of someone messing with Luffy that it pretty much acts the same way as when they first got into the Grand Line. So I'm kind of upset with that entire betrayal moment. I was kind of upset with that in the actual manga, but that's just my personal nitpicking. I felt like the entire scene of panning around all their faces, not giving their names at all, but just showing everybody, and then right after wasting a good minute of time, they introduced all the characters, which was in the manga, and I was looking forward to that. I was looking forward to the actual music tension build-up with all these different set of characters being introduced, like freaking Don Shinjao. Oh my god. Yeah, dude, did anyone else not get creepy vibes from him when you just saw that music start playing and you see his 2 family members beside him? Just come on, that was freaking awesome. And when they decided to hide someone else in the introduction, you saw a blackface on someone where they didn't want to reveal his face. And then you just got all sorts of different characters like the Funk Brothers. The Funk Brothers, man. What do you think about them, everybody? I mean, they look freaking cool. You got the freaking oldest brother is the short one, and the freaking biggest brother is like the big tall one. Kind of reminds me of Edward Elric and all that, so that's really funny right there. Honestly, did I like this episode of One Piece? Yes, I felt like I enjoyed it better than previous episodes. Even though the pacing was god-awful, I felt like the actual episode kind of progressed in a decent way that didn't bore me, really. I mean, this is One Piece, and I usually am entertained no matter if it's filler or slow pacing. I always find some form of enjoyment out of it. But there's some times I can't look past that. But I did like this episode, and I felt like if they could at least, you know, add a little bit, like, progression like this episode kind of did, I felt like they could do at least a little bit better, even if they have slow pacing. Anyways, this is going to be the end of my anime review of One Piece this week. Tell me what your thoughts are on this episode. Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? And what you think about all the actual new Gladiator introductions? Who's your favorite? Let me know in the comments below. Who is your favorite? And no spoilers, everybody. I don't want to spoil any anime-only viewers. So let me know who you think so far is yours from this episode standpoint. Y'all wonderful day or not, wherever you live. Please stay safe. Chibi out.